Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I would do a reading wrap up of all of my favourite romance books of 2025. There is a lot. I am a romance girly, I told you, and I went through all of the books that I read this year and I really tried to whittle it down to my favourites. I had a lot, okay? I had a lot. This is going to be a long video. I'm not going to go into too much detail about them, but just know that all of these books were 5/6 star reads for me this year. I'm a romance girly. I thought this would be the perfect video for anyone who wants any romance recommendations or is trying to get into the romance genre and you don't know where to start. Here are some of my top romance books that, to be honest, I need to maybe put a warning here. Warning, please prepare to, like, even if you're in the most perfect relationship right now, just know that after you read these books, your life's gonna change. This is why I read books, because I just love living through other people's lives. And it's not really other people's lives, is it? Because they're just so unrealistic. And pretty much all of these books are written by women, and men written by women, you just know that they're going to be good, you know, guys? So let's get into it. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to talk about, actually no, I'm not going to talk about that first because that's a bit deep. Okay, I'm going to go straight in with A Love Letter to Whiskey. I've already spoken about this on my YouTube channel, so again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this book, so many people were talking about this book. Well, I say so many people, I've seen a few people talk about it and say that it's one of their top reads, and I was like, it's gotta be good. It has got to be good. However, it was better than I was expecting it to be. I couldn't put it down, to be honest with you. It was so good, and I don't know if this is a special edition. I think this is the 5-year anniversary edition. This has got, like, about halfway through. Yeah, about halfway through there was a note from the author, and I was like, well, that signifies the end of the book. However, she was saying about how many people loved this book that she had to write a little bit extra for you. So there's technically 2 books in one. This one's called Love Whiskey, and it's the male perspective. I love a male perspective, guys. This is basically about a couple who meet when they're teenagers. They clearly have a thing for each other. However, certain obstacles keep getting in the way, which means that they can't be together. It's kind of like right person, wrong timing situation, and like fate and showing up at the same places at the same time. It's so good. So good. Definitely recommend. Okay, the next book. Write Me For You. To be honest with you, I'll read anything by Tilly Cole, but be prepared that Tilly Cole writes really sad books. These are all books, well, I don't know if all of her books are, but the 3 that I've read so far, so I've read this one and the 1,000 Boy Kisses and 1,000 Broken Pieces, they are all about terminal illness. But I just feel like that makes such a heart-wrenching book, which is what I want from a book. I want all of my feelings to come out, and I mean, it's always going to be a 5-star read if I'm crying at a book, you know? This was so good. So this is about the female main character who has got a terminal illness. She goes to a treatment facility place that is going to help her with her treatment, and she meets a guy at her treatment place. It's so good. Definitely recommend. Okay, the next book, The 7-Year Slip. I actually also have the limited edition as well. Obsessed. That's how much I loved it, guys. I actually really need to get rid of this book, don't I? Because I can't have 2 of the same. This is a really difficult book to explain, actually. Basically, Clementine comes home one day from work and she finds a guy standing in her kitchen. And she's like, what on earth are you doing in my apartment? But every time the guy shows up, he is from, I think it's like 5 years before. So she's living in the present time and he's living 5 years before the present time. It's all very confusing, but I absolutely loved it. And when you're reading it, it's not actually that confusing, but I feel like when you explain it, it's a bit like, what on earth is going on? Definitely recommend. It gives kind of like Time Traveler's Wife vibes, so definitely recommend that one. Okay, another book that I absolutely loved is Say You Swear. I loved this book, and the plot twist in it, by the way, guys, my jaw was on the floor. I actually cried. I'm not ashamed to admit it, I cried. I was reading it in the bath on my Kindle and I was bawling my eyes out. It was so, so good. However, I then picked up the second one, which is Promise Me Not, and I hated this one, like hated it. So this is the problem when you write such a good book, you need to follow it up, and it was a hard thing to live up to. So I absolutely loved this book, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. I haven't read the third one in all fairness, but the second one, not for me. If you have read the third one though, please let me know if it is worth it, because I just have no motivation after the second one to try and read the third one. So let me know. But this one, okay, one of my top romance authors of all time. I found this year and I'm so grateful that I did. The first book of hers that I read was Part of Your World, and we are obviously talking about the one and the only Abby Jimenez, of course. This book started everything for me. Everything I read by her, I have to give 5 stars. Like, it'd just be rude not to, you know? So absolutely love this book. This is age difference. They're from 2 different towns and they have to visit each other. They both live completely different lives. She's kind of, I think she's a nurse, and he is, I think he works in woodwork, and he currently rents out his house as a B&B. So 2 different, completely different lives. Her parents are very, I think they're all like surgeons and things from what I can remember. So she has a lot of pressure on her to be perfect, and obviously because there's an age difference as well, she is older than him, that she feels like she can't introduce him to her friends and family because they wouldn't approve. So they kind of like have a secret relationship. Eat it up. However, this isn't my favourite book by Abby Jimenez, but still a 5 star, I'm not gonna lie. My favourite book by Abby Jimenez so far, The Happy Ever After Playlist. I can't explain too much about this one because this is actually the second in the series. The first one is The Friend Zone, which is also really, really good, but again, not my favourite. But you have to kind of read this one to know what's going on in this one, because there's a massive plot twist in this one that leads to this one. I'm sorry that I can't explain too much, but just know that this is one of the best romance books I've ever read. Again, a really heartbreaking one, but worth it. Okay, the next one. There's a lot, guys, I'm not gonna lie, although I've obviously got through this quite quickly because I've only been filming for 10 minutes, so that's not too bad. The next one is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I put this off for so long because I didn't think this was going to be my cup of tea. I heard loads of people say that it was really good. However, I was like, this isn't going to be for me. But someone bought me this off of my Amazon wish list on TikTok. Absolute angel. I love all of my friends over on TikTok. So I obviously had to give it a go, didn't I? Because someone went out of their way to get me a present. I love our little community. So I gave it a go and I loved it. I loved it so much. So this is about Monique. I want to say that I'm saying that right. This is about Monique, and she gets hired to, she's a reporter, and she gets hired to go and meet the actress Evelyn Hugo. Evelyn Hugo says, I'm only gonna do an interview if it's with Monique. And you spend the whole time kind of wondering why, because Monique's not like a top reporter or anything. Like, there's probably better people out there to do it. So you kind of spent the whole time wondering why she said that she'd only let Monique interview her. However, you find out. There's plot twist. It's so good. Definitely recommend. What's all that banging? Okay, the next book, although I only have the first book of the series, but I recommend the whole series because I read it on my Kindle, is the Windy City series. Why has it taken me so long to read this? I only read this in November, and I hate myself that I didn't read it earlier because I could not put this down. And again, this was bought from one of my lovely friends over on TikTok, Defy's Reads. So definitely, if you're on TikTok, go and check her out because she's an absolute angel. So she bought me this, and I was like, okay, I prioritise any book that anyone sends me because I'm like, that is just so kind that you've done that. I have to read it straight away. So I've heard a lot of people say that the Windy City series is really good. However, the first one isn't great, and then it kind of gets better as it goes along. That wasn't my experience at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've only read the first 3, so I don't know, but I loved this book so much. I absolutely loved it. So this is basically about a hockey team, and they are the Chicago hockey team, and the male main character is on the hockey team. His name is Xanders. The hockey team own a private jet to take them to all the different places that they have to play hockey. And on the private jet is the female main character, who is Stevie, and she is their air hostess basically. And Stevie gets told when she applies for the job that she cannot interact with any of the players or anyone on the team, and so she's like, yeah, you're pretty beautiful, but I'm not wasting my job for you. And he's not taking no for an answer. So it's kind of like, it gives a little bit of enemies to lovers, but they're not really enemies. They just kind of like wind each other up, and it's giving secret relationship. Obviously, I guess you could say forced proximity, because she's forced to travel around with the team. So good. And again, the other ones that I've read so far are also really good. And I love the fact that this one was about hockey, the second one was about basketball, and the third one was about baseball. That's the only three that I've read so far, and I absolutely love that they were about different sports, but all of the people are like interconnected because they all know each other because they're all big athletes. Definitely recommend. Such a good series so far, but I will keep you updated on the other two that I read. Okay, another book. This one actually caught me by surprise because it's the third in the series, but it is Love Arranged. I was going to say rearranged. It's not rearranged. Love Arranged, which I've got the other two here, which is Love Redesigned and Love Unwritten. And I read them and I just kind of thought they were a bit average. I didn't really think much of them, so I wasn't that invested in this. However, another one of my besties on TikTok, who is Rose Tinted Reads, got me this one. And like I said, if someone buys me a book, I gotta read it because you've gone out of your way to give me a present. Of course I had to read it. And by the way, guys, I also re-gift. All of these people have received gifts back. I picked this up with not high hopes. However, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it's a thick one as well. This is like 550 pages. It's a big romance book. However, I loved it. So this is about the male main character, who is Lorenzo, and he is running to be the town mayor. And the female main character is Lily, and she owns a flower shop within the town. The current mayor is on about knocking down the flower shop, all the stores in the area, to like build it up and make it more modern. And she is like, absolutely not. Whereas Lorenzo is struggling to get in to his campaign of being mayor because everyone thinks that he is not really connected to the town and he has no ties to the town. So Lily and Lorenzo team up to fake date so that Lorenzo has ties to the town, and Lily obviously benefits because if Lorenzo becomes mayor, then he won't knock down her flower shop. Such a good book, guys. And also, if you haven't read this series yet, and based on what I'm saying you're not really that fussed about reading the first two, you don't have to. They're interconnected standalones, so you could just read this one if you wanted to, which is very handy. And I wish someone told me that first, because I mean, the other two were okay. They were okay, but this was really good. Okay, the next book is Love in Other Words. I absolutely loved this book. This is the first book that I've read by Christina Lauren, and I loved it. However, I read it a long time ago and I can't really remember what happened, guys. I know, this is why I need my reading journal to come right now so I can get better at doing these review videos for you. But I just remember this being very good. I've actually just read the back and it's still not really ringing a bell to me. But just trust me that this book, I loved every second of it. This is the thing. Is anyone else like this? If they read a lot of books like I do you just completely forget what happened in the books? However, you know if something was a good book. I know that this was a good book. I just can't tell you what happened, you know? Which isn't very good for you guys, I'm not gonna lie. But I promise I will get better at it. I'm going to start writing full-on reviews and being able to know exactly what happens in them, so be prepared. You're not ready for 2026, Emily. She's going to be on the ball. So yeah, I can't really tell you too much about this one. I can just tell you that it was very good. So if you're thinking about reading it, definitely recommend. Okay, another book I actually don't have with me because I read it on my Kindle, so I'm going to pop a picture right here, is Credence. Okay, I know that this book is very controversial. I feel like you either love this book or you hate it. There is no in between, and I get it. I get why some people would hate this book. And I actually started reading this because one of my friends said that she read it and she DNF'd it, which means she didn't finish it. You know what DNF means. She didn't finish it because it was weird. And I was like, I have to give that a go now. I can't be left out. I can't have FOMO, guys. So I read it, I get why people don't like it. It is weird. It is definitely weird. However, I couldn't put it down because I had to know what happens, because that's how weird it was. So I guess you could say I loved it because I couldn't put it down, but it was a bit questionable. So if you're not into questionable things, maybe check trigger warnings. However, I don't want to go into too much detail about this because it is a bit weird, and a lot of my family watch my YouTube videos and I feel like they're going to be slightly concerned if I delve too much into this book. So I'd recommend that you maybe just go and figure this book out on your own, and if any of my family are watching, just pretend that I haven't mentioned this book at all. Oh god, guys, it's bad. It's spicy. It's definitely spicy, and it's definitely, I'm not going to say incest because they're not technically related. I think it's like step relations. But yeah, it is a bit strange, I'm not going to lie. Take with that what you will. But it's here. But if you also hated it, I get it. I get it. You either love it or you hate it. Okay, the next books that I wanted to talk about, I read one of them on my Kindle, so I'll quickly pop it here. But then another one by this author I absolutely loved was The Last Letter. Again, I received this as a lovely gift off TikTok. God, I'm just spoiled, am I? And I love that the people that bought me books are the ones that I've mentioned in my videos as like my favourite books, because that's just so special to me. Like, you bought me one of my favourite books. I feel so lucky to be part of this community, like especially on TikTok. I couldn't be more grateful, and this is why I'm on YouTube, to try and build my community up on YouTube as well, because I just feel like anyone who loves books, it's just lovely. Like, I just love you guys so much, and we're just all book besties, aren't we? You know? So yeah, to be honest with you, I'll read anything by Rebecca Yarros at this point. I got into her because of Fourth Wing, and then I noticed that she wrote romance books, and I've only read these two, so The Last Letter and The Things We Leave Unfinished. I'm not going to delve too much into them because I feel like these books are so much better when you don't really know anything about them and you just kind of dive in. However, the two books that I've got here, they are both kind of themed around war. Like, war is kind of mentioned in them both. So I don't know if that's her like main theme throughout all of her books, or it's just the two that I picked up, but I absolutely love them and I would definitely recommend. The next series I'll take off my shelf because I'll forget about them. Hang on. I'm not gonna take all of them off my shelf because that's a bit much, but it is the Boys of Tommen series, which starts with Binding 13. These books are trauma. Every single book has got trauma in it. Definitely check trigger warnings because they're deep. These books are deep and they cover some really heavy topics, but I love them. I don't know what it says about me that I just love crying. Is that a problem? Do I have a problem? I need therapy. But my books are my therapy, you know? I feel like the book people get it. Books are therapy. This series is savage, I'm not gonna lie. I loved every single book in this series so far. It's not even finished yet. These books are big chunky books, I'm not gonna lie, but I loved every single second of them. So definitely recommend this series if you haven't already. And my favourite in the series is obviously the thickest book, isn't it, in the series, is Releasing 10. I didn't pick this up for ages, even though I read the other ones and I absolutely loved every single book. I didn't pick this up for ages because that is a big book. However, this broke me in a way that no book has ever broken me before. This book was traumatizing. I mean, the others were traumatizing, don't get me wrong. This one, definitely don't dive into these without checking trigger warnings, guys, because I mean, I say that if you're someone that doesn't get triggered by anything, which is kind of like me, like there hasn't been a book yet that I've been triggered by, I dive straight in, I'm not gonna lie. But if you've been through some traumatic things in your life or certain topics really upset you, definitely check trigger warnings because it cuts deep. It definitely cuts deep, but this one, as heartbreaking as it is, it's one of my favourite books. So I loved it, guys. I absolutely loved it. And I get why some people probably don't love it because it is very heavy. So if you're in it for just a cute romance, this is not the series for you. However, if you're willing to get your heart broken over and 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 over again, pick up this series. You will not regret it. It's so, so good. Okay, the next book is a dark romance book, which I feel like I haven't really mentioned any dark romance books, although I don't feel like I have read that many this year. Maybe I'll need to read a bit more of them in 2026, but I am a massive fan of Anna Huang. This author, I don't even know how I got into this author. I don't know if I've seen someone talk about her or I just randomly picked up. The first series that I read of hers is the Twisted series, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it. And then I noticed, because I like read a book, thought it was really good, then went to pick up the next one, I noticed that she wrote another series called King of, I think it's called King of Sin series. And this book came out this year, so of course I had to get it. It's King of Envy. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. I am such, like, again, dark romance is definitely a trigger warning kind of situation genre, and so again, definitely check trigger warnings for any dark romance book that you go into. I loved it. For me, these are all kind of like rich mafia people. I just love it, and they're all like trying to protect their women. I loved it. I mean, to be honest with you, all of her books are very similar to me, to be honest. If you're good at it, why not? Loved it. Definitely recommend. But obviously, I mean, they're all interconnected standalones, so you don't have to read them all, but I would recommend reading them all because they're just all really, really good. So I definitely recommend this series. Okay, another new author for me this year is Aster. I picked this book up, well, I asked for it for my birthday because it was a special edition and it was just cute, and I thought this is going to be a cute summer read, and that it was. I loved this book so much, and I mean, I've only read this one book by her, but I feel like she's now one of those authors that I'm like, I'll pick up anything because I loved this one so much. Although I know that a lot of people didn't like this book, and a lot of people found the female main character annoying, or I don't know, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I've also now picked up the Light Lark series. I haven't read it yet, but I just have a feeling I'm gonna love it. And then she's also announced next year that she's written her first adult romantasy. I'm here for it. I've already got it pre-ordered, guys. Don't worry about me. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So yeah, if you're looking for a good summer read, I mean, you don't have to read it in summer, but if you're like a seasons reader, definitely recommend this one. It was just cute and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Not ashamed. Okay, the last book that I'm going to talk about is, again, another new author for me. As you can see, I've tried a lot of new authors this year. Is Ali Hazelwood, The Love Hypothesis. So I've seen loads of people talk about this and absolutely love it. So when I seen this edition come out in Waterstones, oh, it's not focusing. There we are. Obviously I had to pick it up. You know I've got a problem. So I picked this up and I just loved it. Although if I'm honest, when I started it, the female main character is a bit all over the place. She's very jittery, or that's how it came across to me. I was a bit like, whoa, this is a lot. And also, I mean, I've only read this book of Ali Hazelwood's and Love on the Brain. Oh, and I've also read Bride and Mate. I'm not talking about Bride and Mate, I'm literally just talking about her romance books. So The Love Hypothesis and Love on the Brain are very scientific. I don't know if all of her books follow that kind of vibe. Obviously, Bride and Mate aren't because they are fantasy books, so a bit different, but they're all very scientific. So I kind of had to take that with a pinch of salt because that kind of stuff doesn't really interest me. However, the romance, I'm here for the romance, and it was very, very good. Very good. So basically, this is what I mean, I can never remember anything, guys. Olive spends all of her life in her, what's the word? I want to say scientific room. It's not a scientific room. Why can I not think about what it's called? I can't remember. Olive spends all of her time in her work. That's all she's interested in. And her friend's like, you need to go out. You need to get a bit of romance in your life. And she's like, what do you mean? I do. And she's like, no, you don't. And she's like, yeah, I'm going on a date tonight. And she's like, oh, okay. When in reality, Olive is going to do more work. Her friend catches her at work. So she grabs the nearest guy to her and kisses him because she's like, I need to say that I'm on a date. Like, she thinks I'm on a date. So she ends up kissing this guy who turns out to be Adam. Adam is a professor that works at the college. So it's kind of like teacher-student situation. However, he's not that much older than her and she's not in his class, so they end up getting away with it. It's a fake dating situation, again, because she's like, please can you just go along with it, because my friend thought I was on a date and I wasn't, and now she thinks I'm dating you because I kissed you. Please can we go along with it? So good, guys. It's so good. Definitely recommend. So that's it, guys. That is all of my favourite books. Well, my favourite romance books that I read in 2025. And there's a lot. I'm a romance girly. You know, guys, if that didn't show it, I am a romance girly through and through. I absolutely love my romance books. And the fact that that was my shortened down version of my favourites, I have a problem. But as I mentioned, I am getting a reading journal, so my videos in 2026 should be a lot more thorough with my reviews, because I will be writing down all of my thoughts and feelings and hopefully remembering the storyline that way, because at the moment I'm just trusting the back of the book to re-jog my memory, and that's not always the case. So 2026, Emily is going to be a lot more on it with her book reviews. So bear with me, guys, I'm getting there. In all fairness, when I started reading these books, I didn't realise that I was going to be reviewing them, especially the ones that I started at the year, because I started my TikTok in April, end of April, and I did start my YouTube around that time as well, but I didn't start posting videos properly on YouTube until a couple of months ago. So I read a lot of these books not really thinking that I was going to be on TikTok and YouTube talking about them and reviewing them. So next year will be so much better, I promise. But thank you for trusting me so far. I mean, I've only been on YouTube now for a couple of months, and the fact that I've started to build up my own little community on here means everything to me. Like, I go onto YouTube every single day, and every time I get a new subscriber makes me so happy. So thank you so much to all of the people that have subscribed to me so far. It actually means everything to me, and you guys will always mean the most to me, because even if my YouTube channel ends up taking off, you guys were here from the start, and that literally means everything to me. So thank you so much, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you've made it this far, then you deserve a gold star, don't you, really? Because I ramble and I absolutely love you for it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope that this helps you find a new romance read or a new romance author, because all of these authors, to be honest, I absolutely love. So I hope that you guys also fall in love the same way that I did. If you've read any of these books, then please let me know your thoughts and opinions. And if you have read any romance books that I haven't talked about on this video, then please let me know, because it means I have to add them to my never-ending TBR for next year, and we love that for me. Thank you so much, guys, really appreciate it. Bye.